slow your Mustang down. Oh, Lord.
Atewa kantanga takashla wopla unshimaila omakiayo. Leshunka wakan ki donwish the hecha no yate ki yuha donwish the hecha. Creator Almighty God, ask you to bless over this day, all of our animals and our people too. Thank you. Wadakiase.
Thank you, Joanne Spotted Bear, for introducing and beginning our Mustang Matters here at the Reno Town Mall on 99.1 Fox News. We are here with our host, Lacey J. Dalton, our country western singer, who has created Mustang Matters and has done so much for our wild horses with Let 'em Run Foundation. Hi, Lacey.
Hey, good morning, Cindy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little nervous to be hosting this show in Eddie's place, but I got all you wonderful people here to help me. So
look at you. There's all kinds of light around you, and I see you got your sidekick, Bruce, here. And we've got lots of wonderful guests. I'm really glad that Joanne Spotted Bear from the Lakota Nation always brings us in on Mustang Matters on a prayer. And we need all the prayers we can get, don't we, Cindy?
We certainly do. We have a lot of horses out there needing our help. We have Shannon Wendell here with the Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund today.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. We have Brittany Minot. She is an amazing natural horsewoman with a herd of her own wild Mustangs. Hey, Brittany.
Hey, Cindy, and hello, all the listeners.
Thanks for coming. And then, as Lacey mentioned, we do have Bruce Hartzell. Yes, he is my husband, but he is also a veterinarian who has been working with our wild Mustangs and their medical issues. So, Lacey, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, we have lots to talk about today. I know Hidden Valley has some great news. We have some great things happening right here in the Reno area. Dennis, how are you this morning?
Oh, fine. I'm enjoying sitting back and just watching you lovely ladies work the radio.
You're just going to sit back and watch us do our thing? Huh?
I am.
This
Cindy's
morning.
doing such a fine job. I just want to remind the listeners out there that you can contact us in one of three ways. Via Facebook, a question or comment at americamatters.us, or if you're local, give us a call at 827-8900, or anywhere in the United States at 855-790-8255. And again, it's a pleasure to be sitting in here with you guys. This is entertaining for me because I get to be on the other side of the mic this time.
Well, you have a buddy at least today.
A buddy?
Yeah. You won't be killed by estrogen poisoning here with the rest of Speaking of estrogen, we have a wonderful, one of our co-hosts, Shannon Wendell, is here, and she's going to start this one. She's got all kinds of news. Tell us what's going on in the local horse world here, Shannon.
Well, thank you so much, Lacey, and thank you again. Mustang Matters is a really cool show. This is an awesome opportunity that we have been given to promote wild horses and burros in the state of Nevada, in the western United States, and across the United States, period. We're just a small little organization. We have grown so fast in the last year. And it dawned on me this morning that we are celebrating our first year as a rescue organization. Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund has been in existence through volunteers that have just kind of worked together for about 30 years. We combined formally in 2008 to become a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization. And what we did prior to last year was take care of the horses on the range, make sure fences were up, horses were moved, did what we could to help the injured, sick, abandoned foals. And last year we were thrown into the position of becoming an actual rescue without any means to rescue. And it's been through the awesome donations, support, encouragement of not only the people in this area, the people across the state of Nevada, across the United States, and from around the world. Wild horses and burros rock around the world.
That should be a song.
Yeah, hey,
That should be a song.
Can I get a little bit of revenue from that?
You can
for our
probably get a little.
horses?
Yes, you probably can. Tell people. I'm so amazed at Hidden Valley. What you guys have done so quickly. They've got about 150 horses that they just took on and started raising money for, and are doing things like training and preparing these horses for adoption. And it's very easy to adopt one of these horses. You don't even have to have a corral to put it in. Tell us about that.
You don't, Lacey. We have a wonderful sponsor program where, for those of you who don't have the means or the know-hows to have one of these amazing horses in your life, so you can actually sponsor one. It will live out at the sanctuary, the Wainema Ranch Sanctuary, where they live now, and you will sponsor a monthly fee donation to them and help feed them, and we will send you pictures and updates on how they're doing. We actually have one of our new little foals this year by the name of Sunny. He's a gorgeous paint, who is now being sponsored by a family in Truckee. And so they actually hope to maybe adopt him someday, but until then they'd like to make sure he's cared for.
And also the Reno Mustang Club. They
Car
were our
club.
car
Yep.
club. Yeah, they were our first sponsors.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Dennis, tell us.
And we'll take credit for that.
Please do.
We are about all things Mustang and community. We're a very family-oriented group, and when we found out about the rescues and the horses out there, we talked about it at our club meeting, and we decided to adopt little Shelby. She came on the ground one day, and we named her the next. And I think it's a great program. It's a way to be involved in the wild horses. And if you don't have 5 acres and you don't have the room to do it, this is an opportunity to say, look, I take care of this horse. This is my horse, even though it lives out at the Wainema Ranch.
That's right. It's
With
people's
its family, too, by
With
the
its
way.
family. It's your opportunity to be a little more hands-on and get involved. And I'm in the same position. I have a little tiny backyard, and I don't have any horses. I have a dog. And I would love to have all of the 150 in my backyard and in my bathroom and everywhere else. But I can't do that. So
In your bathroom?
sponsorship, sure, why not?
Really?
Yeah, that's what somebody
Really?
wanted
Have you
to do
done
is
that
put a
yet?
foal in their bathroom.
Do you know
I said,
what?
you know that horse grows.
Shirley does that. We have one of our horse mentors takes care of what we call the leppies, the little horses that have lost their parents for one reason or another, or just aren't doing well, or their parent won't accept them. Our friend Shirley Allen takes these from LRTC, which is Least Resistance Training Concept, which is the group with Willis and Sharon Lamb, Betty Retzer, and many others. We'll take these babies in, and we have pictures of her with little horses. She does something with a diaper. I don't know how you put a diaper on a baby horse, but Shirley does it in about 2 seconds. Cindy, I'm sure you've seen the procedure.
It is truly an art, Lacey. You got to make room for the tail, and you got to make sure it's not too snug, and you don't get your diaper rash. And Shirley is absolutely a pro about it. You guys, you know what? I need to mention one thing. Here on 99.1 FM Talk Fox Radio News in Northern Nevada, we are also being heard by the Native Voice One stations, which are nationwide, coast to coast, and border to border. And I know that they are all very passionate about the Mustangs as well. Joanne, can you tell us a little bit about your position on the Mustangs?
First, I want to say good morning, and I'd like to thank Nada Moss. Is that right, Lacey?
Nola. I think her name's Nola.
Nola Moss. If you're listening,
Hi, Nola.
We'd like to all thank you for tuning in and helping us out over here with a possibility of 153 other radio shows, right?
Holy smokes, thank you.
Yeah, it gave me chills when I first heard that, and I've been wanting to say something for a while, and I got an opportunity today, so we're excited. We love horses. And I was telling Lacey that if the government pissed me off, I want to ride from here to Washington on a horse in a buckskin dress.
Oh, you know what? And we have lots that could make the journey. We'll send you with a few, so if they get tired, you can switch out from time to time.
I would love to. If you can show me how to do it, I'd be willing to
A new
do whatever
horse
it
for
takes
each
to
state.
save our horses.
Oh, there you go. Each state you get on a new horse.
We just leave one behind in every state.
There you go.
At each sanctuary. Are you guys out there with sanctuaries listening to to us today. I hope you are listening to Mustang Matters.
Well, it's funny you said that about the baby horses, because back in the day, 40 years ago, when I lived in the country, I actually met Eddie out there. He opened a market called the Silver Springs Market in Marina, which was about 1.5 miles from any water. It was a business. That's where we became friends. And I used to ride my horse down to the store, and I met him the first day they opened up there. Yeah, it's true. And the company I worked for, we owned the 102 Ranch, which was out along Interstate 80. It since became a Helms gravel pit, and it's no longer an active ranch, but it was at one time.
Well, and I have to say thank you to Roger Norman and Lance Gilman for allowing the largest herd of, arguably the largest herd of wild horses, contiguous herd in the United States, is allowed to be on that 102,000 acres of the old 102 Ranch, which is now Tahoe Reno Industrial, the largest industrial park in the world.
But I got a call one night about 1 o'clock in the morning from the foreman out there. They had a little full drop, and the mother couldn't nurse, and they said, "Can you take it?" And I had 2 other horses at the time. I said, "Well, I don't have a trailer. How big is it?" And he said, "That's about as big as a big dog." So my wife and I drove to pick up the little baby, and I actually held her in the back seat of the Mercury while we drove home. So it can be done. You don't have to be all set up for it. And I always talk about the love you see in these horses' eyes. That little girl was my baby, and I'm sure she's gone now, but she lived a long, happy life. She became a roping horse, and real cowboys ended up getting her. She was very gentle, followed me around. I gave her sugar every day when I fed her, and but they can develop a personality, and it's not unlike a dog to me. But I think they're actually smarter than dogs.
Well, thank you, Dennis. That's a story, and we hear this so much with our Mustangs. Brittany, do you find this when you are working with the Mustangs, that when they bond, they bond?
Oh, absolutely. Not even just with people, but with each other. I can see the bonds between the horses. I can see the bonds between me and the horses, as well as other people and the horses. I can see their personality in every bond they make, as well as when they're on their own. It's very obvious.
They tell me, I have had Mustangs myself, and I've had domestic horses. And it seems to me that my Mustangs bonded in a deeper way with me. And it may be that because you have to work more with them, because they're coming from complete wild animal, it took me a year to be able to touch my horse. He was so frightened. He had been so abused. His tail was so tucked between his, his butt, it was, you almost couldn't see it. And if you waved your hand 30 feet away from him, he'd slam into the side of a corral. So we had to be very, very gentle with him. Of course, now you can do anything. He's now a star. He's up at the Wild Horse Sanctuary.
This is Bruce, and I'd like to go ahead and interject here, because you guys are all telling your horse stories and your wild Mustangs and wild horses stories. So I want to go ahead and offer 2 things. First of all, if Eddie's listening, I want to tell you that the host for this show is much more attractive than you are, Eddie.
Here. I agree.
She's so attractive that I went and married her, so I'm really happy with that. But my little story is about going out for the first time to Wainema Ranch and spending some time out with Cindy. And she was, trying to get me to come out and join. And a lot of times we get all loosey-goosey, all emotional about the foals and about the colts and about the young ones. But sometimes the bond occurs with the older and the more mature. And for me, my first experience with wild Mustangs, I got pockets full of carrots, and I got cookies in pockets, and I got everybody in the ranch kind of following me around. But there was this one mare, and she was pretty cute, and she was something special, and it just happened within a matter of a few minutes that there was this bond, this connection. And now I can pick her out when I go to the ranch, and she's very much a part of the whole experience for me and the attraction. And that's my little tale that I wanted to share.
And he's pretty smitten with her. Her name is now Asha, and every time she sees him coming, she runs. You know what? We have a caller in and her name is Cindy Lee from Colorado, and
Oh.
she's a pretty special lady. I would like to just plug that she adopted at this last auction at the Fallon auction. She got 43 horses on the first one and came back and got 9 more. Cindy Lee, thank you for calling.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I love the Wild Mustangs. They are the best, and it is my calling in life to save them and fight for them and be their voice.
Amen. Me too. Must be a Cindy thing, huh?
Exactly. I was like, wow, what a wonderful namesake to have this morning. That's fabulous.
Cindy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you, and I think you are one of the most amazing people on the planet. I don't know how you do what you do. Fill us in.
Well, initially it's really my calling in life to do this, and I established my own foundation, the Wags and Menace Make a Difference Foundation, named after 2 dogs I rescued who are great dogs up in heaven now. But initially my foundation covers 1,000 miles, and I literally fight and educate about the Wild Mustang. Like you said, I helped save 43 and 9 from the unbranded. And I also have adopted a foal named Lamasi, a little foal, and her mom are living in Crawford, Colorado at Spirit Wind Horse Rescue. So I feel that's important to embrace America's heritage and save them and educate people on the respect and knowledge of Wild Mustangs are an enormous, wonderful part of our American heritage.
They sure are, and thank you so, so very much for everything you do. We were listening or watching in on Facebook to see the progress of the horses that were adopted by Spirit Wind Horse Rescue in Crawford, Colorado. And it was so exciting to see V's posts about the progress that the trailers had made. And then they had gotten to Reno and loading up the horses. And I am so very, very grateful to have been a part of that, a very small part of it, but it really does, it changes your life being involved in any kind of rescue, but especially for these guys because it's not easy to place a horse. You know, you have to have a place for those horses. It's not like a dog that you can put in your bathroom.
Right. Or even a domestic horse. I mean, these are actual wild Mustangs that really need appropriate veterinarian care as well as the appropriate makeshift for them to be embraced as wild Mustangs for their whole life.
Absolutely, and that is so very important for people to remember that when they do talk about adopting a wild Mustang, it isn't adopting or buying from auction a regular domesticated horse that you can put a halter on and a lead rope and lead over to the trailer and go drive home and go for a ride in a saddle in a couple of hours.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it, Cindy, isn't there?
Exactly. And it's a lot of education. I've helped save them. I've adopted a few with Spirit Wind. My big makeshift is medical. So I try to facilitate for them to be as healthy as they can and to be as wild as they need to be and to be their voice and to educate the future so that America's heritage is still embraced and it's not shipped overseas and had for dinner. Excuse me.
Cindy, we are so grateful here at Mustang Matters to real live heroes. We have a bunch of them sitting here at the table with me today, and we embrace you with our group. We are so grateful for what you're doing. Thank you forever for the work that you're doing for the horses. We appreciate it so much.
And Cindy,
well, I'm just proud to be a part of your team because it takes a huge tribe to do this really well.
Well, good. Welcome to the tribe.
Absolutely.
Cindy, can you tell us how our listeners out there can get a hold of you and help you with all these horses that you've rescued? Because I know you probably welcome volunteers and you probably are looking for some adopters as well. How do they get a hold of you?
Oh, we look for everything. We look for hay. We look for trailers. We look for people. I'm on Facebook. Wags and Menace Foundation is on Facebook.
Cindy, this is Lacey.
Yes.
Would you mind spelling that for us, because I'm having a hard time understanding your foundation has a name like mine. My foundation's name is Let 'em Run, and people call it Let It Run, and I think that sounds like a toilet. But we need to know. Can you spell out the name of your foundation, because people will be listening. They will be wanting to contact you. So spell it out so we can all understand it. Especially me. I'm hard of hearing now. Senile, you know what I mean.
Oh, no worry. The spelling of the name is Wags, W-A-G-S.
Like wagging the tail.
A-N-D. Wags and S.
Oh, you just cut out. Could you give us the last? It's Wags and what is the last part?
I think it's Menace.
Yeah.
M-E-N-A-C-E.
Foundation.
Yes, and .org is my website.
Very good.
So it's wagsandmenace.org.
Right, and I'm also on Facebook, Wags and Menace Make a Difference Foundation, and also Cindy A. Lee. I use both Facebook pages to facilitate raise money for my foundation. I cover 1,000 miles. I volunteer at over 20 shelters, and I teach at all the Boys and Girls Clubs all over the state of Colorado to help them to embrace the future and be veterinarians for all of the animals for the future.
Hey, well,
Wow.
Cindy, that is some great work, and we applaud you, and you folks out there listening, if you want to help with Cindy Lee's effort, which is huge. How many horses exactly did Cindy rescue this time? There were
43.
49 total.
Holy
49.
cow. Cindy, that's a lot of horses. That's a lot of wonderful lives you save. We appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy Lee,
Well-
and thank you for calling.
Thank you for all you guys do, too. I'm very happy to be a part of your team and tribe, and thank you for all of your hard work to help the wild Mustang.
And Cindy, we sure hope that you'll make yourself comfortable and call in to us every week. We're here every week on Wednesdays. Please call in and be a vocal part of our team, and we'll help you raise money for your sanctuary and let everybody know what you're up to.
Absolutely, and thank you so much. Like I said, it's wagsandmenace.org, and I'm just proud to help you and be a part of your team, and thank you for all the work you do to help the wild Mustangs.
Thank you, Cindy.
Cindy, thank you. This is Matogleshkawi, Joanne Spotted Bear, Chief of Staff. Just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to all of you. You're all wonderful, special angels to help the wild Mustangs, and that's what it's all about, is teaching the future and embracing America's heritage.
And I agree with you 100%. And you can't do any of this by yourself. And the more we reach out to people, the more people we find. This network is growing. It's awesome. And Cindy, you are a huge part of it to make all of these things possible for the wild Mustangs and burros across this country.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for all the wonderful work you do, and I will be in touch, absolutely.
We want to reach out to Cindy, to all the folks at Native Voice One. We'd love to hear from some Indian people, some of our Native American, and some people find that offensive. Some people like to be called Indians. We're just wanting to reach out to you, whatever you want to be called, and we would like for you to call in. We have Joanne Spotted Bear here, and Joanne, I wanted to ask you if you'd heard about Chief Bald Eagle and the statements that he's made for your people.
No, I haven't heard from Chief Bald Eagle, but I do know of Chief Bald Eagle. I work with Clifford White Eyes and Garvard Goodplume of the Tetuan Treaty representative, the Lakota Nation, Minikanju, Lakota, Nakota, Dakota people. And what I understand is we go back to treaties again, and the horses are written on the 1971 treaty. And that's what I am still looking into, is that treaty broken of 1971 because Sue Wallace did write the resolution to National Congress.
Who is,
and if so,
who is,
that would carry on to treaties. Go ahead. Sorry.
Excuse me, would you tell our listeners who, I don't think they probably know who Sue Wallace is. Can you tell us who she is?
Sue Wallace, from my understanding, is a representative from Wyoming, and she wrote a resolution that superseded over all treaty representatives. That's 564 federal recognized tribes. And she submitted that resolution to International Congress for American Indians. And then she submitted that from there on to Congress, which sent a domino effect throughout 52 states.
Thank you very much. And this actually, what happened was the National Congress of American Indians has apparently petitioned our government to allow horse slaughter on the reservations. Horse slaughter, which we know, and I don't know how many of you listeners out there know about the worldwide popularity of fillet of baby horse, or that in 2008, veterinarian Dr. Lester Friedlander, chief USDA inspector, testified before Congress that the captive bolt, which is how we slaughter cattle, doesn't work for horses. Horses regain consciousness in 30 seconds and are fully aware they are being vivisected. Now, this is just wrong, and we need to contact a Congress and contact our president and just say this is inhumane and it has to stop. It's un-American. We don't need to be doing it.
Absolutely, and one of those ways that our listeners can be proactive and react and do something about horse slaughter of our American horses, and this goes to both wild horses and especially to our domestic horses. They're subjected to this every day. We're still protecting our wild horses and burros, but domestic horses are still subjected to being purchased at auction, driven over the international borders, and in horrible conditions, and slaughtered in horse slaughter plants in Canada and Mexico. We want to make sure that we change the face of how our American horses are being treated, managed, mistreated. Please contact your senators and congressmen and let them know that you want them to get the SAFE Act, which is Safeguard America's Food Exports, out of committee, get it onto the floor, and vote for it. They need to vote for the SAFE Act, and they need to do it soon so that we can put this subject to rest. I think it's appalling that in this day and age we are still talking about horse slaughter. While it doesn't take place in this country currently, people are trying to get it back in, get slaughter plants open. There's a lot of people fighting, very few people, and please go ahead and contact your government. Speak up, because we are the people, and the majority of us don't want anything to do with slaughtering our horses.
That's correct, Shannon. Our horses matter, whether they're wild or domestic, and the food is poisoned if you're eating domestic horse. Shannon, can you tell people how they can contact Hidden Valley and get involved?
Get involved. You can contact us at www.hiddenvalleyhorses.com. You can make a donation there. We always take our donations. Wild Horse Mentors, WHMENTORS.org. Make a donation there as well.
And Lacey, how can we get in touch with your foundation?
Hi, we're at letemrun.com. That's LETEMRUN.com. And that's the best way to get in touch with us.
For those of you listening on 99.1 FM Talk, that wraps up our show of Mustang Matters for today, and we'll see you back here again next week. For those of you listening on other stations in this great nation of ours and on Native Voice 1 stations, we'll be back right after these messages from our sponsors.
Nevada's wild horses are disappearing from our rangelands at an alarming rate. Every day, horses are rounded up, captured, sold, and sent off to be cruelly slaughtered for food overseas. The horses you see out your window today could end up on someone's dinner plate tomorrow. We simply must do something to save them. This great country was built on the backs of the horses. They helped us plow our fields, pull our wagons, and they deserve all the dignity and respect afforded other American icons. The horse helped us craft this nation we know and revere today. This is country music star Lacey J. Dalton. I have dedicated my life to save Nevada's wild horses, but I cannot save them without your help. Your generous donations are the only chance some of these horses have. Visit letemrun.com for more information. Join me. Nevada's wild horses are disappearing from our rangelands at an alarming rate. Visit letemrun.com.
Yes, you better slow your Mustang down. Oh, Lord.
Te wakantanga te kasla wopla unshimaila omakiayo. Oyate ki yuha danwashte hecha na chante washte kicho. Le shunka wakan ki danwashte plamiolo. Aho madakyase.
Thank you, Joanne Spotted Bear, for that beautiful prayer and flute. This is Mustang Matters. I'm Cindy Hartzell. Today we have our wonderful Lacey J. Dalton, and she is here hosting with me my very first time. So, Lacey, I'm kind of getting stuck on my words. Help!
Yeah, you are not. You're doing great. You're doing great, and you always do on the air. And your wonderful husband Bruce is here, who is a veterinarian, and really wonderful to have on the show. He can give us a lot of technical advice, which we often need. And Bruce, thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. And introduce the rest of our guests, please. Host.
Thank you.
Yep.
We have Kelly Hyatt here with us today. She's a volunteer with the Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund. We have Brittany Minot, who is manages her own wild herd up in Chilkoot, and she helps me a lot with the Mustangs at Hidden Valley. We have Shannon Windle, the president of Hidden Valley and my partner in crime sometimes. And we have Joanne Spotted Bear here as well. So, guys, let's start. Kelly's got some great stuff to share with us about what's going on this weekend regarding Tahoe and the Mustangs. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, well, this weekend on the 7th and 8th of September is going to be a really wonderful thing called the Tahoe Expo. It's a geotourism showcase of fun, educational, and sustainable adventures around all 72 miles of Lake Tahoe, including Reno, Truckee, and Carson City. Through guided adventure tracks, the Tahoe Expo aims to show visitors a side of Tahoe that you've never seen before by cultivating a deeper connection with the watershed and inspiring visitors to realize sustainability in their own lives. Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund is partnered with the Sustain Tahoe for this expo, and we will be doing Mustangs in the Meadow. That's going to be a tour where we will bring you to see the Mustangs in Reno. You'll be able to take photographs. You'll be able to get close to them, but not touch them, of course. And we would really love to be able to show all of the visitors to Lake Tahoe our wonderful Mustangs. This is going to be on Sunday, and you can purchase tickets at www.tahoe, TAHOEEXPO, TahoeExpo.com. Please join us for this wonderful tour.
Kelly, that's great. Thank you. And we're pretty excited about this expo. We are actually going to be bringing one of our little babies on Saturday out to the event in South Shore.
It's going to be at the El Dorado Beach at the Lakeview Commons from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. on Saturday.
Great. So, Shannon, you want to tell a little bit about who we're bringing?
Oh my gosh. You got to come up, people. You got to get yourself organized for Saturday morning. We're bringing one of our little babies. Her name is Miracle. We call her Mira for short. And she is so darn sweet, so cute. Just a precious little angel. She was born out at the ranch, and unfortunately, her mom, we surmise that her mom was probably a little immature for having a baby, didn't know what to do with her, and she ended up to be a little abandoned, and a couple other mares tried to pick her up, and it's not a good combination because they couldn't feed her. So Shari Floyd, the woman who organizes everything and takes care of all of our horses up at Wainema Ranch, shot out into the field, picked up that baby, put her in a truck, and got her over to Shirley Allen at Wild Horse Mentors, who runs the orphan foal healthcare program, and she has taken care of her for 5 months. And now Little Mira's back with us, and she has been adopted, and she is on her way to her new forever home. But on her way there, she's going to stop at Lake Tahoe, and you're going to be able to come up and see her. We're going to have a booth up there at the lake, and we'd like to invite everybody to come on up, see what's going on up there. It's just remarkable how we, the people in this area, we have the ability to change how we do business here. We're not going to be sucked into the old casino way of looking at our economy. We're going to diversify. And this is, the wild horses is one way that we can diversify our economy and come up and take advantage of it.
Cindy, didn't you go ahead and help transport Mira back up to Wainema Ranch? And we're going to be picking her up and taking her over to this show on Saturday.
I did. I got to go to Shirley Allen's and pick her up, Brittany and Bruce and I, and what a fabulous operation. I was amazed. Shirley has a horse nursery in her house. I'm not kidding. She has a TV and a rocking chair. And
this is not near her house.
It's in her house.
In her house.
But and diapers and
found a way, and I just can't believe it. She can whip a diaper on a horse, on a baby horse, faster than. And if you go on the website and can you tell them how to get to the website?
Yeah, it's WHMENTORS.org. Wild Horse Mentors. You can also go Google Least Resistance Training Concepts and just file through all of the tabs and everything, the adoptions program. You'll find information about her. And please, feel free to donate because all of that costs money.
How do they get to you, Shannon? How do they get to Hidden Valley?
They can get to Hidden Valley through www.hiddenvalleyhorses.com. You can also get to our adoption page, wildhorseadoption.org, where you can find our sponsorship tabs. You can donate. We are a huge alliance, over 50 organizations. We work together to accomplish what I think a lot of people are surprised we can accomplish, especially our state government. I think they were overwhelmed at how we pulled together a year ago to change the course of how we do business in this state with our state wild horses.
You know, this little thought's coming to my mind. Instead of being in the casinos all the time, you could get out and get wild.
Get wild. There you go. I like that. Get out and get wild.
Yeah.
Hey.
And Cindy, we look forward to the time that the casinos will begin to actually be able to advertise tours and bring more people into Reno, into the casinos, and into the wonderful stuff that we have to offer here in Reno. When we have a place, I am sure that the casinos will be very anxious, and some do already send people out, I understand, to Wainema to check out these horses.
Right.
They do, and can you imagine how many little kids would be excited about coming to Reno, Nevada casinos when they know that one of the things they get to do is actually go out and see the wild horses in the wild, and then come out to Wainema Ranch and actually touch and perhaps even ride some of our Mustangs? That would be great. You know what, Lacey? I am seeing that we have a phone call from a very special person, and you know him as the
Greaser.
Greasy Cowboy. Hey, Franklin, how you doing?
Hey, Grease. What's going on?
Really good. Hey, you guys, how you doing? I'm fine out here in Greece, the Greasy Cowboy, as you named me. I just want to say what a wonderful job you guys are doing, and Cindy with the Mustangs. And that's really the way to go, is to not just be sending these wonderful equines to slaughter, but to actually give them a shot at a new life, helping kids and moving the traditions for the American West and so on. And I just think it's fabulous. I've worked with my share of Mustangs, and I love them. One of my favorite breed of horses, and I really, I just think they're fabulous. And I look forward to coming there to Truckee with you, Cindy, and working with some Mustangs there.
Hey, Franklin, I think you should come out this weekend for our wonderful Tahoe Expo event. Kelly, tell him a little bit about it.
Yeah, Franklin, we'd love to have you come out to the Tahoe Expo and come on our tour at Mustangs in the Meadows on Sunday. The Expo's on Saturday, but you can come up and see Mira, our little baby Mustang, and you can sign up to go on the tour and meet us down here in Reno at the Sierra Summit Mall at 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and we'll take you on a 3.5-hour tour of some really wonderful places here in Reno where the Mustangs are. We'd like to also reach out to you marketing people from the Reno casinos and invite you to come out. We might might be able to give you a comp ticket if you get in touch with us quickly enough. We'd love to show you how it can be and what we can offer.
And how much are the tickets?
$35.
And that includes lunch.
I think you should slide right on out, Grease.
No, God willing, I'll be able to do that. But I'm going to be there in November anyway, and I hope that there's some chance I can get down and see it then. And I just want to compliment you all for doing such a great job. And look for that Greek cat I'm going to send you, that baseball cap.
Very good. Eddie's
There you
looking
go.
forward to that. Franklin, thanks for calling, and we're looking forward to you being here in November. We're going to bring you down to the radio station and put you down here live with Lacey Day Dalton and the Greasy Cowboy. What a headliner there, huh? And go ahead.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Thank you, Franklin.
Thank you, Franklin.
Thanks for calling in, and any of you out there who are listening would like to call in and be on Mustang Matters, or come on down to the Reno Town Mall, and you can actually shake hands and talk to all the people who are on board with us today and every Wednesday. And the number here is 827-8900 if you're out of state or you're calling from one of the reservations. And we sure hope that you folks out there on Native Voice One are listening and will call in with your comments. That number is 855-790-8255. And Native Voice One and all of us, I'm pleased to tell you that Chief David Bald Eagle, who is the chief of the Miniconjou band of the Cheyenne River Tribe of Lakota, and the first chief of the United Indigenous Nations of the Americas, has come out against horse slaughter and to return to the old ways and the respectful ways. He has actually said a prayer for the horses in Lakota, and with tears in his eyes, he asked that indigenous peoples wake up and not lose their way of life, which is synonymous with the Lakota religion or spirituality. He's 94 years old.
Oh,
Wow.
my gosh.
Thank you,
How
Chief Bald
wonderful.
Eagle.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Oh, that's all wonderful.
Hey, Bruce, I have a question for you. I read in an article that the advisory board for the BLM is thinking about euthanizing all unadoptable horses in their facilities. And for me, it raises a lot of worry that the person making the decision on what's unadoptable might just think they're all unadoptable because they're wild. I realize if a horse is old and maybe not thriving and suffering, that might be a means for euthanasia. But as a veterinarian, can you share your thoughts with me on that?
I'll give it my best shot to go ahead and kind of share some insights of having worked in this profession for over 30 years. Is that this is a very difficult decision for pet owners or owners of animals to go ahead and make a decision. All too frequently, people sometimes are inconvenienced, they're stressed, there are situations, whether financial or relationship situations, force them to try to go ahead and solve their problems by, euthanizing their pets. And that's actually a decision that's made for convenience, not for health reasons or for quality of life reasons. And to me, the article that you showed me that talked about some of BLM's direction that they were heading seemed one of convenience, not one of true need. It seemed like an easy solution for them and a short-sighted solution. So, do I agree with their direction or the article? And the answer is no, I do not. One who's been working for years in dealing with pets and bonds and relationships, I would tell you that older animals do give us something. They share something. They can have a purpose. So it's not just the young. I do agree that they can be justified to go ahead and humanely euthanized if their quality of life is deteriorated. But just like our older gelding that we had, who lived to be 35, had a purpose. He had a purpose to go ahead and help help you in terms of your equine facilitated workshops that you did and helping others to go ahead and heal themselves. There's a special relationship that horses have with humans, and I would encourage our species, humans, to see the advantages of that. And even though this show is dedicated to wild horses primarily, our domesticated horses and our wild horses provide a great opportunity for us to heal and for our nation to heal and to save this iconic creature and keep our history alive. So I would tell you that no, I don't think the solution is to go ahead and conveniently euthanize something because he's quote-unquote unadoptable. That seems to me to be a very nebulous term, unadoptable. Yeah, it doesn't mean that every horse has a place in somebody's home, but it doesn't necessarily mean that euthanasia is a convenient solution for the BLM or any other kind of organization.
I agree. That was my concern. Lacey, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, when I read the report, it said that horses over 10 years old. Well, I never got my horse till he was 10 years old.
That's not old.
I don't think that's old. What do you think, Brittany?
This brings me back to our previous segment when you said that your relationship with your Mustang was on a deeper level than anything you'd experienced before. And I feel it with my Mustangs, which are all over 17 now. I think our oldest is 35. And each one of them have an amazing friendship with me as well as with each other, like I mentioned. And I think they're really great. I mean, like you said, it's just a deeper relationship.
Right, exactly.
Well, and don't you think, the horses out there, Shannon, that you've got out there on the ground, they're 10-year-old horses. How old was the horse you just adopted, Cindy? The mare.
The mare that I just adopted is 5 or 6, but what these older horses are doing for these younger horses, especially our babies on the ground this year, they're teaching them social graces.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
They are teaching them responsibility and boundaries. And one of the things you were talking, Lacey, about that deep bond that you have with your Mustang versus your domestic horse, and I with mine see a difference. And what I realized when you were saying that is the difference between the Mustangs and the domestic horses is their value on family.
Mm-hmm,
the domestic
absolutely.
horses are taken away from their families at the age of 6 months. They're socially retarded. Really.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to get along in a community. They don't know where their spot is in their family. So what we're seeing in our Mustangs is the older Mustangs teaching the younger ones, just like we should be doing our youth.
That's people have been talking so much about the breakdown of the family in the United States. All these fatherless families where the young boys have no role models, and it's a really, really bad situation. And I think that the BLM is being incredibly short-sighted. They've got a financial problem. We have a solution.
Yes.
Ecotourism centers like the one at Wainema.
Right.
The one we're beginning to develop there. That Rich Cable has his big plan for the Last Wild Place Sanctuary. Sanctuaries that are self-sufficient, that grow hay, that can grow enough hay for the horses that are there, and for smaller sanctuaries, for instance, like Wainema, that need to get hay at a price they can afford.
Right.
This is the answer. The answer isn't go out and kill all the older horses over 10 years old, because that's not an old horse.
No, not
and
at
I
all.
do believe that I agree with Bruce entirely. If a horse's quality of life, if they have Cushing's disease or they have something, they're simply not able to prosper and they don't feel well, then I think euthanasia is an option.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I think that this is a BLM problem, not the horse's problem. And they never asked to get rounded up. No one in this country said, go ahead and pick up 50,000 horses and put them in prisons, jail cells across the United States, and sure, I'll be happy to pay $70 million of your budget every year to feed these poor horses. This is a BLM problem that they created. They need to fix it, and that is not a solution. Mm-hmm. So instead of all of us sitting around talking about it, today there is a group of people who are out today at Palomino Valley Center, which is just north of Reno. And we encourage everybody in this area who can get out there today to go and support American Wild Horse Preservation Campaign. Denise Bobo will be there. I believe Suzanne Roy will be there. We have Senator...
Congressman.
Congressman
Raul Grijalva.
Grijalva.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I always say that wrong. And we have actress Wendy Malick out there. And she is a huge animal rights advocate. She is going to be there today. They are going to have a press conference to basically say, you're wrong. Everything you're doing is wrong. Why are you not listening to the National Association of Academy of Science report that came out over 90 days ago, telling them what they should be doing, how they should be implementing their management of our wild horses and burros, wild horses and burros. And if you can get out there and help support them, show up. If it's just north, traveling in the direction of Pyramid Highway out to Pyramid Lake, you can't miss the facility. There's 1,800 horses standing on the side of the road looking at you like, can't you open the gate for me? Anyway, they're actually out there doing something.
That's
telling
exciting.
The BLM to knock it off and start managing the horses instead of, oh, great, their next suggestion is to euthanize them because they created that problem.
What time does this press conference start?
It's going to be 2 o'clock today, September 4th, which is today, Wednesday. 2 o'clock just north of Reno. If you can get out there and meet these wonderful people, that would be great. It's well needed.
Lacey, you know, our social process used to go ahead and pick dogs up off the street and take them to shelters and animal control for cities and for counties. Their solution back in the 50s, 60s, 70s was take them to a shelter and euthanize them. Well, that's changed. Now what's happened is these shelters have become no-kill shelters, and these guys are now, you know, being adopted out, and different adoption agencies are picking them up to go ahead and make sure that these pets are adopted. Now, that doesn't mean that every single dog needs to be adopted. There are some that cannot be, or cats that cannot be, just like there are horses that shouldn't be or can't be because of medical conditions or even sometimes behavioral problems. However, the policies for our animal shelters have changed in the last 20 years. BLM should be making an effort to make a change too. And it seems to me like the decision for euthanasia and the 9-year-old figure that I read in one of the articles, it seems very arbitrary. And it seems like it's going to be some decision-making process that somebody gets to go ahead and decide, well, this group gets to get euthanized and this group gets to be saved. And it seems like there are plenty of purposes for the older horses. Just you have to give them an opportunity. And
you have to think outside of the box, right? Mm-hmm. And isn't that how these shelters have been successful? What do you think, Joanne?
I think that they're just violating Indian rights left and right. And I think that first I want to give Nada Moses, or Nola Moses.
Sorry, Nola. We'll get it right.
Nola Moses, thank you for bringing in 153 more radio stations, and we really do need to hear from all of the tribes from California to New York, from Alaska to Texas, because this is our land, and if we don't hear from you and you're not speaking up, then people like Sue Wallace or the BLM or Department of Interior or Washington, D.C. can supersede over treaties. These people here have been putting their life on the line for our horses when it should be us standing up. So if you can please call in. There's 2 numbers. Nevada number is 827-8900. Or if you're in the nation, it's 855-790-8255. And you're welcome to speak to each and every one of us at any given time. Thank you. And country and western singer Lacey Dalton is here. She'd be more than happy to speak to you, and our horse advocate and our medical examiner.
Yay.
We'll welcome you.
Yay, Joanne. Thank you so much for all of that.
Thank you, Joanne.
I also need to take a moment to thank our sponsors, because without them, you guys, we would not be sitting here. I want to thank the pawnbroker.com and yay, thank you, and americamatters.us. We are all sitting here sharing this very valuable topic because of these people who are willing to sponsor Mustang Matters. So again, thank you so much.
It's just amazing, isn't it, Cindy, how these people have come forward and they offer their resources to support wild horses and burros and our domestic horses.
Yes.
As Bruce pointed out, horses are horses are horses are horses. Of course.
Of
like
course.
Mr. Ed.
Of course, of course.
Of course.
We also have a really exciting event coming up, you guys, that I would really not want to forget to mention to all of you listeners. On October 5th, we're having an event at the Piper's Opera House for the Wild Mustangs. It'll be hosted by Eddie Floyd and Debbie McCarthy, with cowboy poetry by Harold Roy Miller and music by David John and the Comstock Cowboys. Come on down and celebrate the Wild Mustangs. And let's not forget those burros. Brittany, do you want to take just a couple seconds to share with us why the burros? What makes them so special?
I would love to talk about the burros because when I first started at my ranch, I, for one, didn't even know what a burro was. I thought it was a dog, and then I found out it's this amazing creature. They're so smart, and they have the best personalities. We have 10 up at the ranch, and they just make the best companions. They are so intelligent, and their relationships with each other, again, show family, like you mentioned with the horses. Just like the horses, when they make that bond with you, they're putting their lives in your hands, and that's why it's such a deep bond. I think it's, they're a great creature, and everyone should respect both the Mustangs and the burros.
And they make a really good, cool noise, too.
Oh, yes.
And they're
How
good
can you not love that?
They're good watch animals.
Yes,
and
they guard sheep.
I have to say, Jennifer, who belongs to Eddie and Shari Floyd, who have opened up their Wainema Ranch for us to do the Hidden Valley Project with over 100 wild horses, have the neatest burro in the whole world. Her name is Jennifer, and she is like a dog. She is the sweetest animal. I've never been around a burro as much as I've been around Jennifer, and I'd love to have about 100 of them.
Oh, I love them. I would keep them as pets for sure.
And speaking of the Wainema Ranch, I just need to say, Eddie and Shari Floyd, thank you so, so very much for what you do for those wild horses out there. We couldn't do it without you. Kat and Amber. Amber is our newcomer to Wainema Ranch. She's amazing. And Bruce Hartzell, who is our chief ranch hand and fixer. Thank you.
We call him the boss.
We call him the boss. Actually, he likes to be called Grizz. But anyway, I just wanted to thank all of them so very much. And Lacey, tell us again, how can we get in touch with you and your organization? And then I want to know, Shannon, again, how do we get Hidden Valley? Let's go.
Well, if you folks want to help, and I have good news for Hidden Valley. Hank Williams Sr.'s our daughter is going to call in because you named a horse Jet, one of the new baby horses, after Jet Williams, Hank Williams Sr.'s daughter. And to get in touch with Hidden Valley, you
www.hiddenvalleyhorses.com.